All right, so we're going to do the box method, which is kind of like Punnett squares in biology, but we're using them in math. So go ahead and start off with a hard example. We're going to have something here that has like 4x plus 2x squared, close parenthesis, and then open it, 3xy plus, and we'll just put xy. So this is a very complicated example. If you're going to understand this one, it's going to get easier from here. So we're going to make a Punnett square, or like a box, and we're going to cut it up into sections. So we should have 2 and 2. So the reason we do that is because this first part of the problem, 4x, I want to put that first term here, and then I have a positive, so I'm going to put plus 2x squared. And then this second parentheses, I'm going to put the first part, 3xy, in the first boxes, and then I have a positive xy. Now remember, whenever you're missing a number in the front, you can go ahead and put a 1. There's a 1 here that we don't write, but it's just a 1. So in the middle of these parentheses, there's nothing. It's just parenthesis, parenthesis. That means I'm going to multiply. All right, you can put a star or you can put a dot, however you like. We're going to multiply these numbers. Just like you would in Punnett squares, you want to look at the top and on the side. So 3 times 4, that's going to be 12. Leave some space for the letters. We'll come back to that. Just like the Punnett squares, you have this 3 on the top, the 2 on the side. That's going to be 2 times 3 is 6. 1 times 4 is 4. Then we have 1 times 2 is 2 right here. All right. So now for the letters, remember, we don't have an exponent. Let's go ahead and put some 1s. All right, I'm just filling out all these blank exponents. Just put a bunch of 1s. And for that, we have to add the exponents. So my x, I have a x1 plus x1. That's going to be x squared. This y, there's no y's on the side, so I'm just going to drop it in here. You don't have to write on the 1. You can just leave it like that. So again, I have x1, but this time I have x2. So when I add these exponents, it's 1 plus 2. That's going to change into a 3. I have the y, 1. We're just going to drop it there. I'm not going to write the 1. I don't want to get really messy. I have x1 and x1. So what is 1 plus 1? I think you guys know that's 2. I have this y1, but there's no y's on the outside, so we're just going to write down y. And then again, I have an x on the top, x1. I have an x2, so that's going to be x to the 3rd power. I have this y1, and there's no y, so I'm just going to leave it like that. So this part of the problem, the multiplying and the adding, that's very basic. Everyone gets that. It's the symbols, these letters. You notice how I have 3xy. There's another one that has a 3xy. So this is where everyone gets lost, this part. We call it combining like terms. That's just a really fancy way of saying we're going to add some numbers. So if these two have the same thing, x to the 3rd y, x to the 3rd y, we're going to add up 6 plus 2. That's going to be 8x to the 3rd y. Now, when you combine like terms, the symbol does not change. These does not change, all right? Look at these at the top. Are these also the same symbol? X squared y, yes. So these also, you have to combine like terms, which means we're going to add this number and this number. 12 plus 4, if you plug that in the calculator, you get a positive. So I'm going to put plus 16x squared y, like that. So like I said, this is a hard example. If you could kind of follow along, that means that you'll be doing fine. Let's get a little bit easier though, because that was kind of extreme. Right, so don't panic. Let's try this one. We'll do x plus 2, close parentheses, open parentheses, 4x squared minus 5. So this is like a medium level problem. Go ahead and copy this down. Let's draw a little Punnett square. Over here I have an x that's by itself. I have a positive 2, so plus 2. This is going to be 4x squared. It's going to be a negative, because this is a minus, guys. This has to be a negative 5. Be very careful. Remember, I can put a 1 here, and I can put a 1 here. In the middle, this is parenthesis, parenthesis. This is still multiplication. So let's multiply numbers. 4 times 1, that's going to be 4. 4 times 2, that's going to be 8. Negative 5 times 1 is negative 5. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. So I like to do the numbers first, and then I like to do the exponents. So x2 and x1, x with a little 3, because you have to add 2 plus 1. There's an x2 for this one. There is no x, so this is going to just stay as an x2. Over here, I have no variable. There's no letter here, but look, I do have an x1. And for this box, there's nothing on the top part. There's nothing on the outside, so that stays as a regular number. Now, look at all these symbols. Are any of these symbols the same? They're all different. x3, x2, x1, and then nothing. So the way you write down the answer, you always start off with the biggest exponent. Not the biggest coefficient. The regular number is not the important one. It's the exponent. 4x to the third. This is a positive, so put plus 8x squared. This is a negative, so put minus 5x. That's a negative, put minus 10. So look at the exponents. 3, 2, 1. Nothing. That's the order it's supposed to be. 3, 2, 1, nothing. Okay. Let me open my paper here. So this will be example number 3. We're only going to do 4, guys. We're only going to do 4. All right. So 2x plus 4, close parenthesis, 3x plus 5. All right. So these are all nice positive numbers. This is kind of what comes out in the STAR test. So it's like a medium, easy problem right here. Medium level, easy level. So I have 2x, and then I have a positive 4, so put the plus sign right here. 3x, and then I have a positive 5. So I just separated everything. From here, you're going to multiply 2 times 3. That's going to be 6. Now remember, if this is a 1 and this is a 1, then what is 1 plus 1? X squared. 3 times 4, you plug that in the calculator, it's going to be 12. And then I have this little x1 here. There is no x here, so it doesn't change. 5 times 2, that's going to be 10. I have x1, there's no x's, so I'm just going to put x1, it doesn't change. And the last one, you look at the 5 and the 4, that's going to be a positive 20. So here, a lot of people get this right, but then everyone look here. I have x1 and x1. These have the same symbol. So these are going to combine like terms. It's okay if it's in a diagonal, or sometimes it'll be in a straight line. As long as you combine like terms, I'm going to add them. So what is this number? This number is going to be 12 plus, and then this number is 10. They're both positive, so that's easy. But before we do that, remember, I have to go by the exponent. 6x squared is the only x squared, so that goes first. Now let me combine these. 12x, 10x, that's going to be a positive 22x. All right, you can leave the 1 there if you want. If this is a positive 20, you're going to put plus and then 20. All right. So last example, guys, last example. Example number 4. 3x minus 4. 2x plus 8. All right, be careful with that negative. That's where everyone messed up. So you have 3x, and then you have negative 4, so make sure you keep it negative because this is a minus right here. 2x, and then you have a positive 8, so push that plus. All right. So now I'm going to multiply, but let's not forget. Let's go ahead and do everything at the same time. I think we can handle this. I multiply the big numbers. 2 times 3 is 6. I add the exponents. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 times negative 4, usually calculate for the negatives, guys. 2 times a negative 4 is negative 8. I have x1, and then I have nothing, so I just put x1. 8 times 3 is positive 24. I have an x1, I have nothing, so put x1. It doesn't change. Last but not least, I have a positive times a negative. This can be negative 32. There's no variable, so just regular number. So right here, 6x squared. Are there any more x2s? No, so let's write it down. 6x2, check. Look at my x1s. I have, again, look at the diagonal. Be very careful with these diagonals. I'm going to combine like terms. I'm going to add, this number is a negative 8, plus this number is a 24. What does negative 8 plus 24 give you in the calculator? All right. If y'all type this in the calculator, you should get a positive 16. Double check that for me, guys. Make sure, yeah, I think I'm right. Just double check. Negative 8 plus 24, you should get a positive 16. Don't forget your x. And then this is a negative 32, so you put minus 32. Okay? So that's your box method, like your Punnett squares. So on this part of the paper, guys, all right, I'm going to put the exit ticket. So go ahead and put exit ticket. It's only 2 questions, all right? There's only 2 questions here. And I'm going to put them on the board for y'all to copy down, all right?